BYJU'S Exam Prep, CAT and MBA, your one-stop solution for all MBA exams related questions. Watch unique strategies to ace CAT, XAT, SNAP, IIFT, TISNET, CMAT and other important MBA entrance exams. Tips and tricks to boost score, subject-wise and chapter-wise sessions, previous year's questions, exam-related update and notifications, live exam analysis and actual questions discussion. So why wait? Subscribe to BYJU'S Exam Prep, CAT and MBA YouTube channel and press the bell icon to stay updated.
Good morning everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Alpa Sharma and this is our editorial analysis. Am I clearly visible and audible to everyone? Good morning Anuja, Roosters. Do you hear and see me clearly? Very good morning. Good to see you guys back. How have you guys been? I'm so sorry for a couple of minutes delay. There was something that we had to set up. If you could quickly confirm that I'm clearly visible and audible, we shall start with our session. Good morning. I'm absolutely good, Prads. Good morning, Kiran. Yes, clearly visible and audible. So I hope you guys are doing great. And I have a surprise for you. What is the surprise? The surprise is that I have only one article that I have bought today. Why one article? मैम एक घंटा एक article कैसे करेंगे? मैं बताती हूँ कैसे करेंगे. I have made questions on the article that I've pasted. The article is from the New York Times and I've made questions on that. What is the purpose of questions? I don't have options here. You will have to answer to the questions, okay? And I'll be analyzing your answers. What is the purpose of questions? The questions will help you draw many inferences through the article that I've pasted. So the article has bare minimum of 3 words of vocabulary, super easy language, but too many things to infer. You have to learn how to read between the lines. So I've made questions which will help you think, okay, if one line is written, what else could it mean without options? You have to think that. So we're going to be doing it through questions. Are you guys excited to look at that article from the New York Times? And the topic is not a very common one. As article, usually we don't see that appearing in editorials and other newspapers. So it's a very uncommon one. And it's a very mind-boggling one. It will force you to think about a lot of things. And it will force you to read between the lines. Because हम teachers हमेशा ही बोलते रहते हैं ना, you have to read between the lines, read between the lines. होता क्या read between the lines? You have to, if one line is written, what else could it mean? एक छोटा सा example देती हूँ so that आपको समझ में आएगा reading between the lines क्या होता है. If for example I say India is a democratic country. What else could it mean? What else could it mean? Answer this, everyone. Prads, you will love this article. You will love it. Okay, so मुझे बता, if I say India is a democratic country, what else could it mean? Let me see if you can read between the lines. सोचो बताओ मुझे क्या मतलब हो सकता है इसका और क्या मतलब निकल सकते हैं इस लाइन से. What can you infer from the statement that I've given you? Anyone? बताइए, आज बहुत सारे आंसर्स करने हैं आपको. बहुत सारे आंसर्स करने हैं. आंसर्स करोगे तो ही ये आर्टिकल का मैक्सिमम बेनिफिट ले पाओगे. खुशी इट्स रूल्ड बाय पीपल. आई कैन से दैट. तो ये तो गलत इन्फरेंस हो गया ना बच्चे. सिटीजन्स हैव द फ्रीडम एंड द राइट ऑफ देयर ओन. ओके, ऑल राइट. ओके, कैन आई से इस कंट्री में फ्री इलेक्शंस होते हैं? आई कैन ऑल्सो से दैट. यस. सो बेसिकली हमने किया क्या यहां? लोगों के पास राइट्स है, लोग वोट करते हैं, फ्री विल है सबका, फ्री वोटिंग राइट है, वन वोट वन वैल्यू है, वन पर्सन वन वोट वन वैल्यू है। ये सब चीजें हम इन्फर कर सकते हैं। हमने कैसे इन्फर किया ये? सो बेसिकली अगर एक वर्ड लिखा हुआ है ना, इट कुड मीन मेनी मेनी अदर थिंग्स. What else could it mean is what you read between the lines, is what you infer. That's exactly what you have to do. So if something is written, what else could it mean is what you have to identify through inferences, and that's exactly what is called reading between the lines. So that's what we're going to be doing in the articles today. I have got many questions. मैं नहीं समझाऊंगी आर्टिकल क्या बोल रहा, आप क्वेश्चंस आंसर करेंगे और हम साथ में डिस्कस करेंगे फिर उसको. सो लेट्स क्विकली स्टार्ट ऑफ विद आवर वोकैबुलरी टुडे. दीज आर द ओनली 3 वर्ड्स, सिंपल. So, सबसे पहला वर्ड है अथॉरिटेरियनिज्म. अथॉरिटेरियनिज्म इज अ फिलॉसफी दैट सेज दैट लोगों के पास पर्सनल फ्रीडम मिनिमल है. दे डोंट हैव देयर ओन राइट्स एंड पर्सनल फ्रीडम, एंड देयर विल इज नेग्लिजिबल. देयर इज एन अथॉरिटी दैट गवर्न्स एंड डिसाइड्स व्हाट पीपल वुड डू. दैट्स अथॉरिटेरियनिज्म. अथॉरिटी के पास सारी राइट्स है, लोगों के पास कोई भी राइट्स नहीं है. ये अथॉरिटेरियनिज्म होता है. डोंट बी मिसगाइडेड. आई एम नॉट टेकिंग अ पॉलिटिकल आर्टिकल. दैट्स वन आर्टिकल दैट आई हेट taking. Okay, so authoritarianism की मैं बात करूंगी, but we will not talk about politics today. Remember, authoritarianism is when an authority takes full advantage of its power and gives negligible rights to the citizens of the country. That's authoritarianism. Exactly, Tilak, you're absolutely right about the inference that you drew from the previous line. Okay, next word is redemption. Redemption इन हिंदी पश्चाताप. रिडेम्पशन होता है जब आप शायद कुछ गलत करते हैं, यू डू एन एरर एंड देन यू सीक फॉरगिवनेस फॉर दैट, और यू आस्क गॉड or the Almighty to save you from errors, sins, and evil. That's redemption. God's plans for redemption of His world. How will God save the world from sin, error, and evil is the meaning of the sentence. That's redemption. Okay, that's the second word. And the third word is inscrutable. Let's break the word. In yahan ek negative prefix hai, like incorrect, incompetent. So is the word inscrutable. Scrutable is something that can be understood clearly, that can be interpreted clearly. Inscrutable is something that cannot be understood or cannot be interpreted. You cannot construe what it means. It's hidden, it's vague, is inconstruable. The guy looked blankly inconstruable. He could not figure out anything. He was just blank. The idea was vague in front of him, not clear, not comprehensible. Is inscrutable. Okay, yeah, guilty for redemption. Guilty से जब आप बचने की कोशिश करते हो. Yes, अनुजा, that's redemption. तीनों words आ गए समझ में? जल्दी से thumbs up दे दो एक बार, so that I know you guys have understood the words. कोई डाउट हो तो पूछ लो, and then I'll take you to the main article. Okay, good morning Abhilasha. Abhilasha, since you've joined us late, I've got an article from the New York Times, and I've got many questions on the article which you're supposed to answer. Okay, so I hope everyone gets the words. But before I move on, if you're targeting CAT 2022, a comprehensive program has been launched. You know, we have the best faculty in the entire industry. All of them are serial 99 plus percentile holders. Some of them are serial 100 percentile holders. Rush up, call our counselors on this number and enroll yourself right away into this program. Look no further. That's the best thing you can actually expect. So now here we go with our article, everyone. I would want all your attention to be right here, because the article, the language is simple, but the understanding the article is tricky, and to be able to answer the questions that I've got is even trickier. So सारा attention यहाँ लेके आओ. Bilingually समझाऊंगी ताकि सबको समझ में आए, in English and Hindi both. Now this is the first page, and it has very simple language. Read the page and send me a done. Okay, go ahead. Ma'am, inscrutable can be used to describe a person or in general define a situation. It could be for anything, Prads. Anything that is hidden, anything that cannot be understood clearly. It could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be a reading comprehension as well. Okay, that is inscrutable. Read the page and send me a done. डन. सिंपल कॉन्वर्सेशन है फादर और सन के बीच में, है ना, और nothing very difficult to understand here. And what important part here is that the world is full of suffering right now. It could be because of the pandemic, it could be because of authoritarianism, it could be because of killings and death and destruction and warming of the world. We are in a bad world right now. And when we are in difficult times, we seek refuge in religion. We ask God, God, please save us from this destruction. Please save me from COVID. आपके पास और क्या choice था when COVID stuck, especially the second wave? What else did you have as a choice? If you were not vaccinated, all you could do was wear a mask and pray to God. Whatever God you follow, whatever religion you follow, you prayed to God. That God, please save me. And your faith became even stronger. Okay? But here comes an important point. He says darkness also drives people away from God. I'll explain how. So if I lost a near and dear one, a loved one, I would hate God for that. I would say, God, why did you let me suffer here? What did I do? What wrong did I do? So many corrupt politicians are alive. My near and dear ones have left the world. What did I do? I don't believe in you, because if you were there, you would have helped me. You would not have made me suffer. That means in the times of hardship, some people move closer to religion, but a lot of people move away from God, the belief in God. And then there is a conversation between the father and son. Son is Rex and father is the author. He says that he does not believe in God. Now, have you read this phrase? Can you tell me what his religion is? Can you tell me what his religion is? Oh, perhaps you just asked me. Bar mitzvah is a religious practice followed by Jews. So these father and son, they're Jews, okay? And bar mitzvah is a religious practice followed by them. And since the child is studying a religious practice, he's preparing for that, he looks like is religiously inclined. Lekin, he says one day that God does not exist. That's surprising for the father. The father asks him कि क्यों तुम्हें क्यों लगता है भाई ऐसा? तो बच्चा बोलता है कि अगर गॉड एग्जिस्ट करता तो इतने लोग मर नहीं रहे होते, इतनी सफरिंग नहीं होती वर्ल्ड में, है ना? और ये सिर्फ पैंडेमिक के बारे में नहीं है, ये और बहुत सारी किलिंग्स के बारे में जो कीव में हो रही है, या जो पैलेस्टीन में हो रही है, या इसराइल में, अगर आप इसराइल के सपोर्टर हो तो इसराइल में हो रही है, या अफगानिस्तान में हो रही है, वो किसी भी तरह की किलिंग्स हो सकती है, या सूडान में हो रही है ना, या फिर यूक्रेन में हो रही है, राइट? तो ये सारी किलिंग्स सिर्फ कीव नहीं, पूरे यूक्रेन में, तो ये सारी किलिंग्स सिर्फ पैंडेमिक नहीं है जिस वजह से लोग सफर कर रहे, दे सफरिंग फ्रॉम किलिंग्स एज वेल, दे फाइटिंग अमंगस्ट ईच अदर. हमारे कंट्री में हम मॉब लिंचिंग देखते हैं. सो अल्टीमेटली वापस उसका फादर उससे पूछता है, बट व्हाई डू यू से दैट? सो रेक्स सेज गॉड इज सपोज्ड टू केयर अबाउट अस. That doesn't seem like something you would let happen if you cared. If a mother cared about her child, would she let the child suffer, or would she ensure that the child stays happy? A mom would leave her own meal to fill the stomach of her own child. She would take all the pain on herself to make the child happy, right? तो यहाँ mother actually, आप compare कर लो God की, कि अगर God होते तो वो इतने लोगों को सफर नहीं करने देते ना. अब आप आंसर करेंगे पहला क्वेश्चन. What is the purpose of mentioning the conversation between Rex and his father? Why has this conversation been mentioned in the passage? Now tell me that. Think, and tell me. Why has the conversation between Rex and his father mentioned in the passage? सोच के आंसर करना. आज एक ही आर्टिकल करेंगे, बट तमीज से करेंगे. Why is the conversation mentioned? The conversation between Rex and his father. What is the purpose of mentioning this into the passage? That too in the first paragraph. Think and answer. Why is this conversation mentioned? Anyone? Okay. To prove why people move away from religion during dark times. Okay. Okay, Khushi. Okay. Because ये जो last line say, it gives you a reason why they have moved away from religion. It could be. Okay. Anything else? Anyone else? Because many people die in pandemic and so they think that God, does he really exist? Okay. To invoke the thought of God's role in religious books like he is the savior, but in reality, humans dying unnatural deaths. Okay. Everyone who did not existence of God. Okay, Krishna. ठीक है. अब देखो ध्यान से सुनो everyone. कोई भी कॉन्वर्सेशन अगर पैसेज में मेंशन्ड है या कोई भी एग्जाम्पल पैसेज में मेंशन्ड है, it will be written to aid to the main idea of the passage only. अभी तक main idea क्या है? We don't know that. But we know that we're talking about religion and difficult times and existence of God. More than religion, we're talking about the existence of God, believing into God or non-believing, being a theist or an atheist in the times of a situation where people are suffering. Now, roosters, pandemic was one of the many instances where people are suffering. It was destruction, it was killing as well. So mentioning the pandemic specifically makes your answer narrow. Remember that. So एक overall phrase हो सकता है in the times of suffering. Suffering can be pandemic, destruction, killings, anything. In the times of suffering, do people believe in God or they stop believing in God? इस चीज को focus करने के लिए the author has mentioned the conversation. So, Khushi, Prads, Krishna, you guys are absolutely correct. Roosters, pandemic को छोड़ के आपका पूरा statement correct है. ठीक है, that's the answer for our first question. Now, read this part and answer this question. I will not explain what this is. Answer this question to me. What is the problem of evil? What do you think that is according to this paragraph? Answer quickly. What's the problem of evil according to this paragraph? Khushi, Roosters, Prads, Sai, Kiran, Abhilasha. बच्चे आंसर करोगे तो अंडरस्टैंडिंग बेटर होगी. आई कैन आंसर दिस बट वो तो स्पून फीडिंग हो गया ना. फिर एग्जाम में कैसे बेटर मार्क्स दे के आओगे? You don't know that? Okay, let's understand this paragraph. एक बात बताओ before I proceed, since none of you have answered, 2-3 क्वेश्चंस पूछती हूँ. कुछ आ रहा है समझ में पैराग्राफ में? Okay, Prads has an answer. Evil cannot exist without good, and it is something out of God's control. Okay. Evil is destruction. That's correct, Neha. Yes, that is correct. Evil equal to destruction, good equals to God. Problem of evil is that it is immune to God. Yes, yes, Kushi, it absolutely is. Because God can't create good without evil. That means they go side by side. Yes, they do. And that is completely, Prads and Kushi, you guys are absolutely correct with your answer here. They go hand in hand. Yes, Abhilasha. And controlling evil is out of God's hands. He cannot control evil happening. It's like the yin and yang theory. Have you seen this philosophy, yin and yang? Aisa banta hai kuch. Okay. So this part is dark and this part is dark. So there is good with some bad and then there is bad with some good. They coexist. So the problem of evil is that evil will exist. Why does it exist? The author is not convinced. The author says, I'm not, all of these reasons are poorly reasoned. There are many, many answers, but we know that evil exists and that is something possibly beyond God's control. Or probably God wants us to suffer. That could be another perspective. है ना? कैसे देखो, या तो हो सकता है गॉड के कंट्रोल के बाहर है या फिर गॉड जानबूझ के हमको सफर करवाते हैं कि हम उससे कोई लेसन सीखें. हम हिंदुइज्म में ये देखते हैं कि ये कर्म है, आप जो करोगे वो वापस आएगा. तो हो सकता है आपने कुछ खराब किया हो जो आपके पास खराब वापस आ रहा है ना? So it could be either of the theories, but the author is not very convinced with it. The author says ऐसा लगता है कि गॉड के कंट्रोल के बाहर है. That's the problem of evil. It's a philosophical question of the problem of evil, that evil will be there, destruction will be there, suffering will be there if goodness is there. Goodness is God. Okay, let's move on. Read the page, everyone. Answer this question. Neha, that's another perspective. Yes. Read the page. Answer the question. Read the page. Answer the question. Everyone, the answer is hidden in this page. नेहा, आप ही की कुछ कुछ बात यहाँ रिपीट हो रही है. Need for. According to the paragraph, why do we need pain? एक दो और क्वेश्चंस पूछूंगी इसी पेज में, पहले ये आंसर करो. What is the need for pain? Yeah, okay. But रोहित एक बात बताओ. Okay. Yes, Neha. Yeah. Okay. Before I discuss this answer with you, what do you think about the author? Does he believe in God or is he an atheist? What do you think about the author till now? Yes, Abhilasha? Yes, Roosters? Yes. Yes, Sai? Yes, Khushi. Very good. If we have pain, then we struggle to remove that pain. Okay. And the result is compassion, redemption, heroic is a theist. Okay. Sai. Okay. एक बात बताओ. Okay. He believes. ठीक है. ठीक है. I'll keep it like that. I will not say anything about his belief. I'll keep it like this. Let's see if that changes later on. The need of the pain. He talks about his sciatica pain and he says, why is God letting me suffer with this sciatica pain? If there is God, why does he not soothe it? God में power होनी चाहिए ना. Omnipotent है God तो. Omniscient है. Omnipresent है. Omnipresent हर जगह present है. Omniscient, God knows everything. Omnipotent, God is the most powerful. He has all the power. If he has all the power, why does he not cure my sciatica pain? Heroic act क्यों नहीं करते? Magic से cure कर दो मेरा sciatica pain. क्यों? क्योंकि उसके लिए तो गॉड एक्चुअली टोनी बन गया है. बिकॉज टोनी इज हिज थेरेपिस्ट जो उसका साइटिका पेन क्योर कर रहा है. टोनी इज हिज हीरो. गॉड इज नॉट. इफ गॉड इज नॉट, इज ही अ बिलीवर इन गॉड? देन ही सेज दैट गॉड डज नॉट केयर अबाउट प्लेजर एंड पेन. He cares about what pleasure and pain make possible. God will give you pleasure. God will give you pain. But the results can be of two types. Understand this, everyone. The results can be a person either becomes more compassionate. Example देखो, जब सफरिंग हो रही थी अफगानिस्तान में तालिबान के साथ जो फाइट हो रही थी, we started sending aids to अफगानिस्तान एंड नॉट तालिबान. ओके. तो इंडिया बहुत कंपैशनेट बन गया उस टाइम. वी वांटेड टू हेल्प पीपल हु वर सफरिंग. बट उसी सिचुएशन में कुछ लोग हो सकते हैं who start abusing the free will that you have. फ्री विल आपके पास. सफरिंग हो रही है वर्ल्ड में, तुम चाहो तो उस सफरिंग से अपना बेनिफिट देख सकते हो. तुम चाहो तो उस सफरिंग से लोगों का बेनिफिट देख सकते हो. When all of us were struggling with the second wave of COVID, some people went out of their way, ensured that everybody has a gas cylinder, they have the oxygen cylinder, and then there were some people making artificial remdesivir vaccinations. You remember that? Those people making artificial remdesivir vaccinations were the ones who abused their free will in the times of suffering. And those people who ensured oxygen cylinders for everyone were the ones who were compassionate. अब बताओ, is the author a believer in God or is he an atheist? He is not a believer in God till now. No. वो तो क्वेश्चन कर रहा है. सफरिंग खत्म हो जाती अगर सब कंपैशनेट हो जाते तो. सब कंपैशनेट नहीं है. There are people who abuse the free will. We still aren't sure of the fact that he believes in God or not. We cannot say anything. He questions some actions by God. Yes, agreed? Let's move on. The answer to the question, what is the need of pain? Pain will give you free will, which can either make you or break you, make you more compassionate or let you abuse it. Exactly, Neha. Let's move on. आगे देखते हैं क्या होता है. ठीक है? Answer this question. Omniscient का मतलब होता है, omni means all, science is to know. So he knows all, he knows everything. तुम क्या सोच रहे हो God को पता होगा. ठीक है? So read this paragraph, the first one, and answer the question that follows. Exactly, Khushi. We're not sure of that. कह रहे देखो कितना sarcastic line है ये about Putin. He says, why don't you just take him away from the world? He is creating so many sufferings. Just take him away. Free will दिया है तो उन लोगों को रखो ना जो सिर्फ अच्छा करते हैं. Why are you keeping those people who are abusing their free will? What is the author's view about God being omniscient? What does the author think about God being omniscient? Does he believe God is omniscient? Exactly, Khushi. He actually questions that God might not be omniscient, because if he was omniscient, he would have only let good people be here and take away those people who abuse their free will. He questions the presence. कह रहा अगर गॉड को सब पता होता तो पुतिन नहीं होता वर्ल्ड में, according to the author. He would have taken away Putin or so many other people. Yes, exactly. The author isn't sure if God is actually omniscient. Yes. So possibly God is not omniscient. अब देखो strengthen होता जा रहा है इस author का disbelief in God. Looks like he does not believe in God. आगे पढ़ते हैं, ठीक है? Example of mother. Why is this example used? Answer this question. Read the page. Tell me why is the answer used? Why is the example used? That means Shivam, God is not omniscient. Possibly he is not. हो सकता है गॉड को सब पता ही नहीं है. Beautiful last paragraph. Yes, exactly. He's comparing God to mother here. And then he gives you another argument that possibly God acts like a mother here. When a child has to go through a surgery, he must be thinking, why mama, why did you let me go through it? You should have protected me from it. हर बच्चे को लगता है ना, जब ममा gives you a tight slap, आपको लगता है, why mama, why me? Why are you hitting me? I'm your own blood, I'm your own child. But then she would come back to you and soothe you and make you pacified. So you know, possibly that tight slap was needed because she thinks good of me, and the love and care she would give me would compensate for the suffering that I went through. Because that suffering was necessary for me. Hi Panda. Panda, time पे आया करो. बच्चे टाइम पे नहीं आओगे तो आर्टिकल समझ में नहीं आएंगे बीच में से. हमेशा क्लास टाइम पे स्टार्ट करो. You can leave early, but please come on time. If you miss the first few paragraphs, you will never understand the article. That's for everyone, not only Panda, but for everybody here. So, exactly. Parents know what's going to be good for your child. So even if there's suffering, they know the suffering is needed. And they would compensate for the suffering by giving you all the love that they have. Yes, exactly. You're right, Neha. So now he's probably trying to reason with himself that God probably exists, like comparing it to the mother. Good that will come from the suffering. Correct. Correct. Okay. So the example is used. Mother here is an exact comparison with God. And why the example of mother is given? To understand exactly, or probably give a reason to our suffering. Why does the suffering happen? And if God actually makes it pleasurable, he could, to make us a better person. Okay, that's the answer here. Now, this page does not have a question. The next one has. Let's read this page together. Now, the author says, I am with Rex, the son. I think the problem of evil poses a serious barrier to religious belief. That is, when a person suffers, he moves away from religion. He moves away from God. So the author says, I agree with what Rex says, that suffering will make people move away from religion. Still, Rex continues to study for his bar mitzvah. Why? Rex did not believe in God. Rex said God does not exist. Yet he studied for his bar mitzvah, his religious practice. Why did he study for that? Let's see if the question is answered here. Before Rex came along, I struggled to account my own religious practice. I didn't believe in God. I did not. Abhi ka pata nahi hai, but pehle he did not believe in God. Yet he would fast, he would observe Passovers. Basically, he would follow religious practices. आप शायद एथीस्ट हो गए, बट ठीक है, साल में कभी कभी you must be fasting. या फिर you might light diyas during Diwali and you might put colors during Holi. You may be an atheist. आपको God में belief नहीं है, but आप ये कुछ चीजें follow करते हो. Why? He practiced the Jew practices. Why? It's just what we Jews do, I might have said. It keeps me connected to a community that I value. जिस religion को वो belong करता है, उसकी जो community है, he valued the community, and to be attached to the community, he practiced these things. Despite the fact that he was a non-believer in God, he practiced these. क्या उसी तरीके से Rex is studying for his bar mitzvah? Probably he does not believe in God yet, because he values the community that he belongs to. He's studying for his bar mitzvah. So being an atheist does not necessarily mean that we give up on every religious practice. Atheist is non-believer of God, but you value. हम अपने कम्युनिटी के लोग को वैल्यू करते हैं, तो हम उनके साथ चलते रहेंगे, हम करते रहेंगे उनकी तरीके की चीजें. I'd say that, I suppose, but when Rex was 4, he reframed my view on religion. One night, I was cooking dinner and he asked, is God real? So I asked, why do you think so? I think that for real, God is pretend, and for pretend, God is real. Bhai, what does this mean? Read this again, twice. बार मिtzvah is a religious practice in Jews. शिवम, बच्चे शिवम मैं इसलिए बोलती हूँ क्लास में टाइम पे आना नेक्स्ट टाइम से, है ना. ये मैंने फर्स्ट पेज में एक्सप्लेन कर दिया था. जल्दी चले जाओ बट आना टाइम पे. फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ मिस कर दोगे तो पूरा पैसेज समझ में नहीं आता है. ओके, कोशिश करो 10 AM शार्प. ओके, थैंक यू रूस्टर्स, आई विल ट्राई माय बेस्ट टू डू दैट. रूस्टर्स, पता है ये ना सिर्फ माइंड पे क्लिक होने पे है. सम आर्टिकल्स. ओके, आई विल ट्राई टू डू दैट. You tell me what is the meaning of the statement. I think that God for real. I think that for real God is pretend, and for pretend God is real. For real God is pretend, and for pretend God is real. अभी डीप है, इसका मतलब भी समझाओ दो मुझे कोई. नहीं आया समझ में लाइन में समझाती हूँ. देखो, गॉड क्या है देखा है तुमने कभी? देखा है किसी ने? नहीं देखा ना. Not every day. 10 AM on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Preeta. But soon I'll increase the frequency of the classes to every day. Okay, but for now it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. Back to it. Did you see God? Have you seen God? No, you haven't. Can I say we pretend that there's a God? है ना? Okay. That the God we think who is somewhere might not be real, but the God can be in the form of humans. Okay. If God is real, then he should show it by doing such kind of work. Okay. Let me explain this. Okay. You're partially correct, Sai, here. I'll add some more things to it. So we haven't seen God, okay, and we have some picture in our mind. When we think about God, there is some supreme power that's there in our mind for all the people who believe in God, okay, and हम pretend करते हैं. When children play, they play pretend games. Doctor, doctor, teacher, teacher. They pretend that they're teachers. They pretend that they're doctors. And when they pretend, they actually behave like one. They'll check your pulse. They'll put thermometer in your mouth. They'll teach you writing on the board. They actually act as if they are teachers or doctors. Okay, that means that आप जब God में believe करते हो, it's only a pretentious image that you've made in your mind. And when you start making pretentious images in your mind, you start believing that God exists for real. I'll repeat. God, we haven't seen him. So we start making a pretentious image in our head. Okay, this is supreme energy. That's how I look at him. Krishna, Radha, whatever God you believe in, Allah, Jesus, you've made an image in your head. ठीक है? और आप मानते हो कि ठीक है वो मेरे लिए God है. And वो pretending इतना strong होता है that it looks as if it's real. That is the meaning of the statement. Did you get this, everyone? For reality, God is just a pretentiousness whom we pray and we believe in. But God can be real in a way which we experience when we see miracles happening. Okay, yes. Real God is the energy of thoughts. Yes, Neha. It is only and only the energy of your thoughts. How you make up the image in your head. और वो image इतनी strong होती है कि आपको अपना belief strong लगने लगता है कि यही रियलिटी है. गॉड भाई मैं जानता हूं गॉड है. फिर आप उनको मिरेकल से लिंक करने लग जाते हो. देखो वहां ऐसा हुआ था. कैसे हुआ? साइंस के पास कोई इसके पास एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं है. ये गॉड नहीं किया. हम जस्टिफिकेशन देने लग जाते हैं, है ना? So that's what Rex said and he was stunned. It's a big thought for a 4-year-old. भाई 4 साल का बच्चा ऐसी बातें कर रहा है. It's a big thought for a 40-year-old also. Yes. I asked Rex to explain what he meant. चलो देखते हैं क्या उसका explanation match करता है हमारे explanation से. God isn't real, but when we pretend, then he becomes real. When we pretend there's some God up in the sky sitting and watching us, it looks like he's real. Philosophers have a name for this sort of view. They call it fictionalism. Fictionalism क्या होता है? Imagine, make up करना stories अपने head में. We make up stories about God in our own head. हम बना लेते हैं अपने दिमाग में God को. It's fiction. All the Potterheads, I have something for you. Read this part. He explains what is fictionalism. Read this part and send me a done. And tell me if you understood fictionalism here. Yes, Shivam, it's a very good article. थोड़ा सा और बचा है और लास्ट में ना आपका पर्सपेक्टिव बिल्कुल चेंज हो जाएगा. आगे समझ में फिक्शनलिज्म क्या है? यहाँ पे डम्बलडोर टीचर्स इन हॉगवर्ट्स ना, डम्बलडोर है ना हॉगवर्ट्स है, लेकिन फिक्शन में तो बनाया ना हमने ये चीज. We made it in our head. We pretended there's Dumbledore and then there's Hogwarts. That's fictionalism. स्वर्ग नर्क ये सब फिक्शनलिज्म ही तो है according to philosophers. मेरा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू मत पूछना क्या है, ठीक है? That I'll not answer here, but I hope you understand this. So some philosophers are fictionalist about morality. They think rights aren't real except in stories that we tell. Others are fictionalist about numbers. तो ये सब फिक्शन के एग्जाम्पल्स है. राइट एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता, मैथ्स एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता, ये सब मेड अप है, ये सब फिक्शनलिज्म है. A lot of philosophers believe in that. These are merely examples of fictionalism. I think both views are mistaken. I believe in morality and math, but I think Rex was right. And on to something important. For real, God is pretend, and for pretend, God is real. I'm a fictionist about God. पहला मुझे बताओ फिक्शनलिस्ट कौन हुए? Fictionalists easy है, हमने already explain कर दिया. I'll explain that again before you answer. Fictionalists are those people who believe in pretending a story in their head. Okay, and he, the author, now clearly says, I am a fictionalist about God. He pretends that there is a God, or he pretends that there is an imaginary thing, but not real for sure. And when he pretends, it might be real. That's what he believes in. So those are fictionalists. He also is a fictionalist. Many people are fictionalists, pretending. आगे चलते हैं. Read the page. Simple paragraphs. Answer this question that follows. Yeah, exactly, Neha. Correct, Roosters. Yes, Shivam. Yeah, that's fiction. Correct, Prads. Correct, Khushi. Synagogues are places for worshipping for Jews. Very good question. If you get this correct, you've understood most of the parts of the passage. ध्यान से आंसर करना ट्रिकी है. Okay. Okay, Neha. Others? Answer the question. Why are these synagogues and his experience of singing in English and then Hebrew, and because he can't link to English, yet he sings. All of this is mentioned. Yes, yes, Krishna. Correct. He pretends. He does not like it, yet he pretends to like it because. Exactly, Khushi. He further strengthens his point with the example of the synagogues that God is for pretend. We pretend God exists because that makes the life bearable for us, our suffering bearable for us. हम stories बना देते हैं ना कि okay, ये मेरे साथ हुआ, maybe God wanted me to suffer, he wanted me to teach a lesson. हम अपने आप को pacify कर लेते हैं. We just pretend there's some God. Similarly, he pretends that he seems to like these hymns in English. He pretends because pretending makes things bearable, makes things more pleasurable and more beautiful for him. The relationship is that in reality too, we know that most of what is happening around the world that teaches us is manipulated, but mostly we choose to adapt, yes, and make peace with it by pretending. So he strengthens his viewpoint about pretending. So the entire example of synagogues, it's mentioned to support the entire idea of pretending God and pretending that the God exists, because that makes life a little more bearable. Okay, that's the last page, everyone. What is the conclusion? First, answer only this question. Read the page and answer only this question. What is the conclusion in the passage? Last page. What is the conclusion? Okay. Right, Neha? Others, what's the conclusion? What is the conclusion that we draw in the end, people? Yes, to pretend. Okay. Others? He for sure refers back to pretending because he talks about Santa Claus. We still pretend that he's there. We know he isn't, yet we pretend. Yeah. Guys, I don't send this child here. This is no fake account that I've that I've created. It's good to be pretentious for the community and for the feeling of unity. Yeah. It's good to be pretending. Yeah. Good morning. तुम्हारा नाम क्या है? Pretending is sometimes it makes us escape reality, and even it is there for a few moments we enjoy. Correct. And that's exactly why Rex was forced into praying God he does not believe in, because he knew, the father knew that once he prays, he would be pretending and things are going to be more pleasurable for him then. So you might have to pretend that the God exists, and yet you will find pleasure in that. Did you love the article? If you did, please share it. Do me this favor. Please share this and subscribe to the channel. टेंशन मत लो, अल्पा मैम है तो एफएमएस पक्का है. नाम क्या है तुम्हारा? Like kar do session, share kar do session. Okay. So this was the only article we did today. If you loved the article, nahi, tone. Homework hai aapka. You have to comment. Tone is tricky. Very, very tricky here. That's your homework. I'll end my video. The moment I end it, the comment section will be open under my video. Comment under my video by the end of the day. I'll check all your comments and reply to you if your tone is correct or not. That's what your homework is. Okay. Make sure you don't miss out on doing the homework. And like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, and download our app on Google Play. Thank you so much, everyone. Yep, that's an escapist, Abhilasha. That is being an escapist. Correct. Correct. Pretending makes our existence less questionable and peaceful. Yes, Prats, that is about it. So, no, I don't know, Khushi. I will not answer that. You have to comment under my video, okay? I'll check that later on. Under my video in the comment section, not in the chat box, okay? So, winding up the class, guys. I'll see you on Thursday. Have a very good day, everyone. Work really hard. Practice, read, and God bless all of you. Bye, everyone.